But the ultimate solution, the only thing that really lets us go back completely to normal and feel good about sitting in a stadium with lots of other people is to create a vaccine and not just take care of our country, but take that vaccine out to the global population, and so that we have vast immunity, and this thing, no matter what, isn't going to spread in large numbers. You know, things can reopen if we do the right things in the summer, but it won't be completely normal. You'll still be very worried. You know, we may decide masks are important, although right now they're in short supply for health workers, so people should not go and hoard those. But the capacity of that can be brought up, so it may be something that, like China today, everybody who's walking around is wearing one of those. We'll have a lot of unusual measures until we get the world vaccinated. We'll have a lot of unusual measures until we get the world vaccinated. We'll have a lot of unusual measures until we get the world vaccinated.
Αλλά παράλληλα θα μπορεί η αστυνομία να κάνει εφόδους σε σπίτια που γίνονται εκδηλώσεις χωρίς εντολή εισαγγελέα.
Ο Υπουργός Προστασίας του Πολίτη από τη Μύκονο, που βρέθηκε για αυτοψία σε μαγαζιά, ανακοίνωσε πως η αστυνομία θα μπορεί πλέον να κάνει εφόδους σε σπίτια χωρίς να απαιτείται εντολή εισαγγελέας. Ανακοίνωσε πως η αστυνομία θα μπορεί πλέον να κάνει εφόδους σε σπίτια χωρίς να απαιτείται εντολή εισαγγελέας.
Έχουμε σχέδιο, έχουμε στρατηγική.
Τι αποφάσισε? Να ενταθούν οι έλεγχοι στα μπαρ, να καθιερωθεί αστυνομική υποδιεύθυνση στο νησί και να μπει τέλος στα μεγάλα πριβέ πάρτι στις βίλες. Το μέγιστο όριο των καλεσμένων δηλαδή θα είναι 40 άτομα. Αλλά παράλληλα θα μπορεί η αστυνομία να κάνει εφόδους σε σπίτια που γίνονται εκδηλώσεις χωρίς εντολή εισαγγελέα. Αλλά παράλληλα θα μπορεί η αστυνομία να κάνει εφόδους σε σπίτια που γίνονται εκδηλώσεις χωρίς εντολή εισαγγελέα.
Έχουμε σχέδιο, έχουμε στρατηγική.
Θα μπορεί η αστυνομία να κάνει εφόδους σε σπίτια που γίνονται εκδηλώσεις χωρίς εντολή εισαγγελέα.
Have a lot of unusual measures until we get the world vaccinated. You know, 7 billion people, that's a tall order, but it is where we need to get to, despite a lot of things in between now and then to minimize the damage. But with the economy, you know, we can bring it back. You know, there will be a point where we have the vaccine and we're going completely back to normal. But what does opening up look like? You know, which activities have, like schools, have such benefit, can be done in a way that the risk of transmission is very low? Yeah. And which activities, like mass gatherings, may be, in a certain sense, more optional. And so until you're widely vaccinated, those may not come back at all. And so until you're widely vaccinated, those may not come back at all. And so until you're widely vaccinated, those may not come back at all. It will probably be years before you get back to where you were before because of the time. This is a big economic shock, and some things we really will want to be broadly vaccinated before we're not worried about this and it's changing our behavior in a significant way. So it is definitely the case. It will take years to come back, but it can come back, and it will.
The Gates Foundation are in favor of developing digital certificates that would certify that individuals, American citizens, have an immunity to this virus and potentially other viruses going forward to then facilitate travel and work and so forth.
Eventually, what we'll have to have is certificates of who's a recovered person, who's a vaccinated person, because you don't want people moving around the world where you'll have some countries that won't have it under control, sadly. You don't want to completely block off the ability for those, you know, people to go there and come back and move around. So eventually there will be sort of this digital immunity proof that, you know, will help facilitate the global reopening up. And we put out a lot of carbon dioxide every year, over 26 billion tons. And somehow we have to make changes that will bring that down to zero. First, we've got population. The world today has 6.8 billion people. That's headed up to about 9 billion. Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, healthcare, reproductive health services, we could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%. We could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%. We believe unbelievable progress can be made, both inventing new vaccines and making sure they get out to all the children who need them. We could cut the number of children who die every year from about 9 million to half of that if we have success on it. And the benefits there in terms of reducing sickness, reducing the population growth, reducing the population growth, reducing the population growth. We'll have a lot of unusual measures until we get the world vaccinated. So eventually there will be sort of this digital immunity proof that will help facilitate the global reopening up. So we'll have a lot of unusual measures until we get the world vaccinated. So eventually there will be sort of this digital immunity proof that will help facilitate the global reopening up. Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, healthcare, reproductive health services, we could lower that by perhaps 10 or